Really quick before this video starts, I want to say this is just my opinion and I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments. So I'm sure you've all heard of the new Battlegrounds game called Fiction Battlegrounds. And at the time of recording, it's the most recent Battlegrounds game to release. And when I saw sneaks of it, I was like, okay, this looks pretty good. I mean, the combat looks good, animation and VFX looks fantastic. And when I played it, it was as expected. Good combat, animations, and VFX. It's an overall good game, but that's it. That's the problem. It's just good. Like, if you really think about it, all Battleground games that are releasing now are good. I mean, they have to be to keep up with the competition and to have any sort of player base. But my issue with this is that no Battleground games are really innovating. They're just all focusing on good visuals and good combat, which, don't get me wrong, isn't a bad thing. But like we've seen with Jujutsu Shenanigans, innovation is just as, if not more important than animation or VFX or even good combat. Because let's be honest, JJS combat sucks, but yet look at the player count. At this point, we're just playing the same Battleground games over and over, but with different characters. Because if you really think about it, what makes Fiction Battlegrounds different from Legend Battlegrounds and Ultimate Battlegrounds or even Realm Rampage? RIP, by the way. The only thing different is that they have different characters and different maps. That's really it. Like, yeah, Realm Rampage tried innovating by doing ultimate clashing and rail grinding, which was a step in the right direction, but ultimately ended up failing. Now, let me explain what I mean by innovation. Now, when I mean innovating, I mean adding something that typically isn't seen in a Battlegrounds game. And these innovations are what makes these three Battleground games I'm gonna mention unique. So let's get the most obvious one out the way, Jujutsu Shenanigans. You see, when you think of a good Battlegrounds game, what typically comes to mind? Good animation, nice fluid combat, a good character roster, and good VFX is what I usually think of. But JJS literally took that and threw it all out the window. Because whether you agree with me or not, the combat in JJS sucks compared to other Battleground games. And the animation and VFX are cool, but not top tier compared to something like TSB. But then how is this one of the top Battleground games on all of Roblox? Well, because of how unique it is. You see, JJS has more of a laid back, chill, nonchalant Dreadhead type of combat system that anyone can get into without having to seriously learn any hard combos or techs. But this aside, what really sets JJS aside from other Battlegrounds is three things: build mode, character playstyles, and game modes. Now, I'm not sure if other games have build mode, but JJS is the only Battlegrounds community that I've seen have some crazy maps because of build mode. Like, just take a look at this insane Infinity Castle build that someone created. Now, as far as character playstyles, I've mentioned this before in another video, so I'll keep it brief. JJS offers different playstyles with different characters, so it makes you play differently depending on who you're up against. Like, for example, Yuji is a hand-to-hand combat character, so of course Yuji players are just gonna rush you down and get all in your face. But on the other hand, you have Megami players which have more zoning long-range attacks. So obviously they're going to try to keep a bit more distance from you. And then you have Mahito, which is the best of both worlds with some long range and some close range attacks. Now, as far as game modes go, JJS is the only Battlegrounds game that I've personally seen any game modes in. Of course, most Battleground games have 1v1s or 2v2s, but JJS added a game mode called Roulette. And in Roulette, there's 3 different game modes. Brain Swap, where you free-for-all with random movesets, but you're limited to 3 lives. Sorcery Clash, where there's 1 sorcerer and everyone else are curses and you try to eliminate the sorcerer. And First to 12, where whoever gets 12 kills first wins. Now, even though these game modes are simple, playing them is the most fun I've ever had in a Battlegrounds game. It adds so much replayability to the game, because as we all know, the only thing you can quote-unquote work towards in Battleground games is emotes, titles, and I guess the leaderboard if you're really that smelly. Progression. Now, when you think of that word, I'm sure the last thing that would come up in that noggin of yours is Battlegrounds, because in all honesty, there is no progression in the majority of Battleground games. I mean, sure, you can get some emotes, titles, or even cosmetics for reaching a certain amount of kills, but that's about it. And this is what can really cause some Battleground games to quickly feel stale, is that there's nothing to work towards. And once you've sunk a good amount of hours across multiple Battleground games, they all start to feel the same. But the Go of Battleground games fixes this by adding one simple thing: mastery. You see, in Heroes Battlegrounds, of course you can get emotes and cosmetics by getting kills, but there's more to it than that. Certain characters have mastery, and at the time of recording, those two characters are Deku and Stain, with Adabi mastery in the works. And this fixes the whole Battleground games have no progression issue, because you finally have something you can work towards. Because with each kill you get a slight increase in mastery while playing Stain V1 or Deku V1. But alternatively, you can visit this guy in the shack and he'll give you daily quests you can do, which give you a bit more mastery than just straight up killing people. And of course, once you fill up your mastery, you unlock the V2 of that character, which gives you a whole new moveset with a different ult too. But that's not the only thing you can grind for in Heroes Battlegrounds. There's a secret unlockable moveset that you can obtain by killing the Namu boss that randomly appears in servers or on command if you got big Bobucks like that. And you don't have a 100% chance of getting it once you kill him. Oh no, that'd be too easy. You have a slight chance of getting it once you defeat him. So in other words, you have something else to grind for. I mean, unless you're really lucky. And Heroes is the only Battlegrounds that I've seen add any sort of meaningful progression in the game. And that's not to say if there's no progression in the game, it can't be fun, because let's take a look at Jujutsu Beatdown. Although not as popular as most games mentioned in this video, Jujutsu Beatdown is by far one of the most unique Battleground experiences you'll ever play. First of all, the movement is just crazy. They have sliding, double jumping, ground pounding, and even rail grinding. Like, what other Battleground can you slide cancel in? Second of all, their combat is really unique. They didn't just add JJK characters and call it a day. They actually have a controllable cursed energy system. What I mean by that is that when you press E, you activate cursed energy, and while this is active, you have a chance of hitting a black flash. Not only that, but certain moves have cursed energy variants, which you can only activate while your cursed energy is active, obviously. And one of the coolest parts about the combat is that you can do air combos. So whenever you throw someone in the air, whether it be through a move or just an uppercut, you can jump and dash at them to start an air combo. And one of the coolest things in Jujutsu Beatdown is that they actually did domain clashing right. You see, whenever you domain clash, instead of whoever spams space faster like in Realm Rampage, both of your domains actually pop, and whoever does the most damage within a time frame, their domain overtakes the other, which is honestly super cool. This game deserves way more recognition in players than it has. Even though I truly believe Battleground games will start to die out if they don't start innovating somehow, I don't expect everyone to just stop playing the new games that release because they're not unique or because they didn't do something incredibly innovating. And I mean, I'm the same. I'm still gonna play new Battleground games that release because seeing some sick animation and VFX definitely scratches an itch in my monkey brain. But you know, it'd be nice to get some unique Battleground experiences in some way that you can't get anywhere but that game. Like the upcoming Spider-Man Battlegrounds called Web Realms. I think they're doing something really cool with it. They're saying they're gonna add little side quests that you can do in the game, web swinging, and unlockable suits. Like, there's no other Battlegrounds that you can do side quests, get Spider-Man suits, and web swing, so it'll be pretty unique to that game. But yeah, as always, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours down in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know. Thank you for once again listening to another one of my yap sessions, and I don't know how to end this.